not even gonna answer. You just calling random people and putting them on the spot.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, T, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm here with my friend Jordan on our podcast, Beyond the Sum of Our Thoughts.
Surprise!
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. And so Jordan has a question. Jordan, what's your question?
You keep asking me, and I keep forgetting the question.
Really, I really don't. Yeah, she wanted to get other people's opinion, so I called one person. We got her perspective on it and everything else.
Oh, why she thinks nice guys finish last, or does she think nice guys finish last?
Okay, say that question one more time.
Do you think that nice guys finish last?
I say yes and no. Yes, because I guess it's harder for them to date and find someone that will accept that, because I feel like we are sort of in a space where we take a little bit toxicity. You know, we think that's a little bit more cool, a little bit more, saucy, gives passion, it gives excitement. So sometimes they get overlooked. But when they do find, I guess, that person for them, or the lucky girl gets to find that person, it's a wonderful relationship. So I say yes and no because of that.
So then is there a certain thing that would help nice people in relationships? Like how do they get a leg up? Is it possible?
That's a good question. I feel, well, I would consider myself a nice person, and I feel like it's one of those things where it's a diamond in the rough. Like, unfortunately, it's going to take a bit of digging, a bit of, searching to person. And like I said, we're not, how to say it? I feel like a person that wants a nice person has to be in a certain space.
For sure.
Not being superficial, not, just wanting passion and excitement, actually wanting what a real relationship takes in order for them to appreciate a nice person. So it's just going to take time, really, for that person to be seen and accepted and wanted. I don't really know what the leg up will be. I would just say continue to be nice, because, eventually, hopefully, the right person will find you. Yeah.
Right. So, go ahead.
No, that's an awesome take on it. I salute you on that. Go ahead, Jordan. What you was gonna say?
I was gonna say, so as a nice person, because you said that you're a nice person. So as a nice person,
she's a nice person.
Oh, I believe her. I was just
no, I got you.
Connection, right. So as a nice person in relationships, do you feel like you struggle to find people that appreciate you? Like as a female, because we talked about nice guys, but as a female nice person, do you feel like you struggle with that?
Yes, I do. I feel like sometimes it's definitely overlooked, because it's just like, oh, well, they expect you to be that way, so they don't really appreciate the nuance of it,
Right.
Also, because, like I said, I feel like we're kind of conditioned now to have a little bit of drama. Like you're always hearing the podcast that I hear about. I don't listen to them. The podcast that I hear about is always something that's an argument, in a sense. It's either men versus women, or this is the issue in my relationship, this is the issue. So I'm feeling like people expect sometimes for there to be conflict or drama. And then also, because of social media, I feel like they expect it to be a picturesque moment, or something that, you could put on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all of those things for others to see. I think they think relationship is all about that.
What is that?
When you're just being yourself, being a nice person, being considerate, being, good listener, open, all of those things.
Right.
It's like, I think it can seem boring sometimes.
Right.
Like I said, I think they don't pay attention to the little things that you do sometimes, also, like I said, if they're just not in that space, if they're really not in the space to be in a relationship, the things that you do may not even be on their radar because that's not the space that they're in. So, yeah, I think I am sometimes overlooked. And sometimes in a relationship, like I said, I'm not always appreciated, but if that comes with it.
And that's true. I mean, it happens. Sometimes people are overlooked, and sometimes people overlook other people, and thus causing you to be in the same situation of yourself, where you could be with somebody who's nice to you, but then you overlook them, for whatever reason you got going things on. And the same thing has happened to me, and same thing has happened to T as well, where we're overlooked, but then when you sit back and you realize, yo, that person that you was once talking to was a good person, a nice guy, as you say, or a nice girl or whatever. Then you try to circumvent and go back that way. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work for a lot of people. And it's the effort being made is the whole concept of it all. It's the effort and the willingness to do things differently to make it happen and to see and to follow through on it.
And I do want to say really quickly, though, speaking about being nice, I was talking to this gentleman a while ago, and to him, he felt like he was doing all the right things and being nice. For example, he said that I told him I'm usually, in a sense, a house person. I'm always in the house majority of the time. And he was like, well, I'm taking you out. I'm trying to get you out the house. So that's me being nice. He's like, oh, well, I took you to dinner. That's me being nice. So why, in a sense, haven't we progressed in this relationship? And I was just like, technically it's not considered to be nice, and also that's not all that there is to a relationship. And just like made me understand that everybody's version of a nice person or a nice guy, nice girl can be very different.
Right. And that goes back to what we initially started talking about, people who are genuinely nice versus people who are doing nice things because they want validation or reciprocity. They want something or are getting something out of it.
I'm not gonna lie, I struggle between the two. I don't know when I'm doing it. I don't know if I'm doing it because I'm a nice person, or I'm doing it for the reciprocity. And then when the reciprocity doesn't come, I'm like, all right, cool. I just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
But see, that's when you know that you're doing it genuinely. Because if the reciprocity doesn't come, then if you were doing it for the reciprocity, you would be upset.
Well, okay,
just like that guy. Like, I'm doing these things. Why aren't you doing the things that I need you to do?
Yeah, in a sense like that too. But then it's like I often look at it as if you're not doing these things that I'm doing for you, then there's something about me that is not connecting with you, and therefore I need to basically stop doing these things that I'm doing for you. Being nice to me is not, or in her definition or what that guy's definition is, taking you out on dates and doing things like that's not being nice. I'm gonna do that shit anyways. You can come with me.
Right.
But you know what I mean? So that shouldn't be a category to label as being nice. Being nice is basically doing things out of your way, out of your normal character, helping people out when you see they need help. Not doing, I'm going to help you out because hopefully you come back. No, you struggling. Let me help you out.
Right.
I don't care about any of it. I don't care about what you do for me or how it comes back to me. I'm helping you out because
you're genuinely nice.
I can do this right now. I can afford, even if it is giving you money, I can afford to do it because I'm able to do it. And if I'm not, then I'll find other ways to help you out in other areas. Right. But that's me being a helpful person. That's me being a nice person. Right. And that's me trying to help people. That's me being nice. When you say you're being nice and, I'm a nice guy, you should give me a chance, or I'm going to do right by you, this, that, and the third. How come you're not giving me a shot? I don't know where that seems like a formality or reciprocity to a certain degree. It's like in a sense, it's like, okay, I'm treating you this way to show you that, one, to me, I look at it like this. I'm treating you this way to show you, one, that you deserve it. Two, this is what I bring to the table as far as like not only good times, companionship, conversations, and things like that. Me treating you how you deserve to be treated, which you may have not been treated for a long time. That's me being that's me. That's me. Now, it may be considered as me being nice and, you should pick me because I'm good to you and I'm good for you. Now, that's a different subject. Because once again, we're all coming from a trauma place. We're used to the toxicity. We all have mommy issues. We all have daddy issues. We are used to basically dysfunctional relationship. The dysfunctional is normal to us. It's okay. If we're not struggling, trying to cling on to a relationship, then it's not a real relationship. And in my mind, I had to sever that level of connection, of thought process and being, to the point where it's like, I don't want to be like that with somebody, and I don't want somebody to be like that with me. But then it's like, I'm already open to that concept, and I'm already aware of my connection and my trauma to that, and I'm choosing to sever it. Not everybody else is. So when we're out here trying to date people, we're coming across this area where we're saying we're the nice guy, we're the good people. But then you got to understand, everybody deserves to be nice because everybody's coming from their own trauma. Everybody deserves to be with a good person because everybody's coming from their own trauma. The question is, are they willing to let go of that trauma dysfunctionality of their relationship? Or are you going to have people be in a relationship because, oh, this person's a nice guy, but I don't really love them like that. I don't really care for them like that. They treat you good, but they're not the person you want to be with. Then what's the person you want to be with? And then you got to ask yourself, what is the person that you want to be with? Is it basically because the person you want to be with is probably sourced and connected to your trauma, to your mommy issues, to your daddy issues, to your aggression issues, to the mistreatment in a relationship? Those things are those functionalities of a relationship, of a toxicity, is a slow poisoning to all of us that we are all used to. We become numb to it. So when something good comes our way, the first reaction we all do, you're in the friend zone. Oh no, you're not this. Oh no, you're not that. I can't. We make up all kinds of excuses because it's not clinging to us. And unfortunately, a lot of good people, men and women alike, are are vestiges of that. Where it is not. It's sad, but it is the reality where we're all facing our traumas. We're not facing our traumas, and we're not being open and honest about why we choose the people that we choose. Why do we cling on to those that may mistreat us or not be right for us, but yet we enjoy being in their presence. We enjoy being in their company. Is it the mutual trauma, or is it the fact that we're still going off of our trauma based need to deal with what's normal? Because it's mental conditioning. If we're being treated, it's like an animal being beaten all the time, and then when they come around a good owner and the good owner puts their hands up to pet it, they clench because all they know is when your hand goes up, I'm gonna get hit. Not when I pet you. And so that's the thing for human beings in a relationship. The nice guy finished last thing, because not everybody's ready for that nice guy. Not everybody's mentally and emotionally prepared for a nice guy. They're better off getting somebody that is, they're in their mind, they're better off getting somebody that's a fixer upper to being a nice guy than genuinely knowing what it's like. It's that.
When I think a lot of that has to do with, and this is like from the mental health perspective, when you're dealing with a nice guy, it requires you to be emotionally intelligent. It requires you to communicate. It requires you to have a level of respect and trust. And for people with trauma, all of those things are difficult. I don't want to talk about my emotions because they're uncomfortable. I don't want to communicate, period, because I'm used to communicating with yelling and screaming and throwing stuff and putting my hands on people. So when you're communicating with your words, this is uncomfortable. And for some people, and I think you mentioned this before, if you're not yelling at me, if you're not putting your hands on me, that means you don't love me. There are some people who have had so much trauma that that's what they believe. If you're not angry and yelling, that means you're not passionate. That means you don't love me.
Yeah, somebody was like, their first reaction was funny. It was like friendly personality character, right? It's friendly. And they were like, you know what, if I was your girlfriend, I'd punch you in the throat. I was like, what?
See that?
No, but their mentality, their thought process is behind it, because, and I'm like, what? And they said that, and I was like, why would that be? But their thought process is behind it. Like, anybody else that lets you do that, they didn't really like you, because your attention should be solely focused on me. Your friendly attitude and everything else should be not. You shouldn't be talking to anybody but me, and that's that. And that's a red flag for them. But it's like, in my mind, I'm like, her response was, if somebody allows you to conduct yourself that way, they didn't really like you. They didn't really love you. And it's like, no.
It's like them people that go on American Idol a hot mess and nobody told them that they were a hot mess.
Yeah, but in my mind, I'm like, if a person, in my mind, if a person accepts you for your friendliness and knows they're secure in their situation to a point where I dated people where my friendliness is definitely a topic of discussion.
A threat.
Where it's,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's like, oh, I could be, I probably give off vibe. I could probably give off a vibe of me cheating or whatever, but that's not it. If I chose to be with you, I chose to be with you. There ain't nothing else around it. I'm friendly.
May I add something really quickly?
Yes.
I was just thinking, and this is something I also told the same guy too. Just because you're nice doesn't mean the person that you're dating has to accept you. And
That part.
also, that doesn't mean that the person that is not accepting you is doing it out of trauma, which is something I had to learn for myself. I know everybody does have their trauma, their baggage, and all of that. Mm-hmm. But sometimes your niceness is just not enough, in the sense of
I completely agree.
Personality does not match with that person. Mm-hmm. Maybe views does not match with that person. Maybe your goal doesn't match with that person. So regardless of you being nice and a great person, we just don't match. And that's okay. Because I think sometimes too, which is also something that I hear when we talk about the nice guy, nice girl topic, is the person who's being nice feels like they deserve to be in a relationship with someone at that moment, or the person they're talking to, whoever, just because they're being nice. Right. And in reality, if you're a nice person, you're nice regardless of the situation, regardless if you're attached to who you're talking to. You're just nice because that is who you are. But we also have to take into account that I'm not dating you just because you're nice. I'm not dating you just because you open doors or you take me out to dinner. If I'm dating you for a long-term situation, I have to like you as a person, as a whole. So niceness is just a part of you, which is a great part of you, a big part of you, but it's still just a part of you. And I do think a lot of times the first thing for a nice person to say is, in a sense, like, yeah, there's something wrong with you, why you don't like me when I'm nice. When in reality, it could just be, we're just not compatible. We just don't match. And I could be out of my own trauma having a defense mechanism of saying, obviously there's something wrong with you because I'm great. I'm perfect.
Right.
There's that part too. And you're right. And
yeah, it's not only a trauma thing, which I do think a lot of times it is, but it's just sometimes it's just simply that you guys don't match.
And that is very true. That is very true.
I feel like if you are an authentic, a genuine, nice person, not doing nice for some other alternative reasonings, I feel like if you are truly a nice person, you are going to prioritize building an authentic connection, just like you said, based on mutual kindness and mutual empathy and mutual emotional connection. I think those are all the properties of being a genuinely nice person, because you genuinely care about the other person's well-being. You genuinely care about making that connection with that other person. And I think that's the struggle that we have. So many times people say that they're nice because they do nice things, but they have no interest in anything deeper beyond the physical. Like, what about my mental health? What about my emotional health? What about all of those other things that make me who I am? So I completely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, it's people trying to dig into that, and you got to try to find that. T, thank you so much for coming on and answering the phone. I appreciate it. Talk to you later, okay?
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Keep your phone on, so next time we do this, you can pick up, okay?
All right. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem. All right, bye.
I like her. She's very nice.
Yeah. Got another one for you.
Goodness.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, she said while we're in the waiting or whatever, she said a lot of really good things. I feel like genuine niceness is about more than just the task that we do. It's about a genuine connection. It's about wanting long-term relationship success.
Hey, love, how you doing?